Devaki Nandana Krishna Gita Patena Tushyati Yatana Vede Danena Yajna Tirtha Vrtatibihi. The son of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows, as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita. So welcome everyone, good evening. This is deities of Sri Jagannath Mandir. I think this is Radhastami, one of the years. Okay. Okay. Nama Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Join me. Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Kausalya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Krishna.
A person who is devoted to studying the Gita acquires a friendly disposition to all living beings, despite his accruing the reactions of his previous actions in this world.
All right, thank you, Mataji. So, by reading Bhagavad Gita, we can develop equal vision to see everyone, and despite it accruing the reaction, despite us having lots of reactions from our past activities. Okay, so we're going to quickly do this recap of chapter 17. What is the title of chapter 17? Okay, chapter 18 is a long chapter. Okay, one of the longest. And we also have a lot of verses to cover. Chapter 17 on Friday. Yes, what else? What are the things that we covered? Okay, that's the title. Thank you. How did it start? Anybody recall? How did it start? You can say something like, what's Arjuna's question? Something in general. Divisions of faith. What was Arjuna's question? Do you remember? To answer that, you should remember what happened in chapter 16. Chapter 16, Krishna talked about divine and demoniac. Before that, chapter 15, we saw the banyan tree. So in the banyan tree, you saw there's an upper portion and this lower portion. And that is how Krishna expanded the banyan tree, upper portion, lower portion in chapter 17. Chapter 16, okay, divine and the demoniac. All right. So the divine and the demoniac, the difference is because they do not, it's about which party following the Shastras. Okay. So Arjuna's question is, if they don't follow Shastras, but they have some kind of attachment to certain devas or certain mode of worship, what do you call them? Where do they fall under on the banyan tree? Where is their position? So Krishna answers, if they don't follow Shastras, but they have some attachment and some faith to worship some devas or some methods of worship, it falls back to their nature, natural instinct, okay? And that natural instinct is influenced by 3 modes of material nature, okay? This is based on their past activities. Yes, on point, Dasarathan Prabhu. Okay, based on past reactions. Okay, so what did we cover? The modes determine one's faith and one's worship. All right, so this has been answered, okay? And food in the modes. So we can actually understand a person's nature by seeing what kind of food they eat, okay? So we saw different kinds of food under the mode of goodness, and then some in passion and some in ignorance, okay? What else? After the foods, there are 3 more things that we covered. Right. Sacrifice, austerity, charity. Okay. What about sacrifice? What is the best way of doing a sacrifice? Just give me one word is enough. When I say best, means in the mode of goodness. Sacrifice means sacrificing, like giving away something or burning something, doing yagya, that kind of things. In what kind of mood you have to do that sacrifice? Okay, yes, and according to scriptures, what else? Let's talk about mode of goodness only, okay? Just focus on the mode of goodness. Dutifully, yes. Anything else? Glorifying the Lord, okay? It has to have glorification of the Lord, like reading from the scriptures or chanting the Vedic hymns, okay, or the holy names. Remuneration to priests, yes, you have to give sufficient dakshina to the qualified priest. What else? Distribution of prasadam, important. Anything else? Desire no reward, very good. Chanting of holy name, goodness, without expecting anything in return, good, no reward. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so that is sacrifice in the three modes. What is the next thing that we covered? Austerity. Okay, you remember the picture of the Hiranyakashipu doing thousands of years of penances in the Mandara mountain. Okay, so what is expected of doing austerity? What is expected? Actually, there are three ways of austerity, right? Yes, body, speech, and mind. Okay. All right, so when you do austerity, what should be the mental state or expectation or consciousness? Pretty much similar to sacrifice, but there are some additions also. Okay, so that is austerity of body. The speech will be speaking pleasingly, truthfully, okay, not agitating. Okay, this is speech. Mind. How about mind? This one everybody can practice, very easy. Always thinking. Okay, yes, self-control, simplicity, no duplicity, straightforward dealings, gravity of thoughts, something that you can practically cultivate in your mind. How do you relate to others? What do you think about others? Okay. Any more answers? Come on, last day. Last day. Austerity of mind. Yes, always thinking of the welfare of others. Okay. All right. Okay. Now the bad side of the austerity. What you should not do. What you should not do. You should not perform austerity to seek recognition, respect, should not have pride. Yes, no self-torturing of self or others, no torturing of self and others. Yes, no injuring of others. Okay, and no material benefits like I want this politician to become this minister, so I'm going to fast until die. So we cannot do that. All right, this is not prescribed in the Vedas because it causes disturbance to yourself, okay, to others, to the community, to society and everything. Of course, to the Lord that is residing in your heart. Okay. All right. Finally, what did we cover? What was the last segment that we covered? Everybody likes to donate, right? Because we're always thinking about the welfare of others. So we do charity, and charity also you need to see whether you're doing at the right time, to the right person, at the right place, for the right purpose. Okay, so when you do charity, pretty much similar to sacrifice and austerity, you are doing it without expecting an exchange. Okay, you're not giving this to, it's in order for our name to appear on the board or to be published, all right? And returning something, expecting something in return. Okay, so it's also dutiful, no reward base. Okay, So we avoid those elements in the mode of passion and ignorance. Okay, so we are done with the recap. So now we're going to say what has happened in previous chapters. So generally what we can conclude is that in previous chapters, Krishna has described various systems of systems of what did Krishna taught us? Haribol, anybody there? What did Krishna teach us? Yes, various types of yoga. Okay. Okay. And describing, having described all the yogas, what has actually Krishna concluded at almost at the end of every chapters? Supremacy of anyone else? Is that the right answer? Any other answer? Sebular suara? Okay. Any other answers? Krishna speaks about all the yogas. Technically, how to do meditation step by step also Krishna explained. But at the end of every chapters, he make a conclusion that it is the easiest way is Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so yes, and among the devotional service on Bhakti Yoga, the easiest is chanting the holy name. Okay, yes, supremacy of Bhakti Yoga established. So we are at the end of chapter, end of Bhagavad Gita. So we must know somewhat what is the conclusion. Okay, all right. So in this final chapter, Krishna is a very good teacher. Okay, he's giving us a summary. Okay, he's going to compress everything. Initially, he compressed everything in chapter 2. Okay, and there was a question and answer. Krishna gave elaborated explanation, clarification to solve Arjuna's doubts and questions. Okay, he's going to give overview of Bhagavad Gita. And again, he will stress on bhakti that ultimately loving surrender to Krishna is what matters. Okay. Of course, Krishna is also touching something on renunciation, how to do work. Okay. The renunciation lies in renouncing the fruits, not the work. Okay. But for level 1, we will not go into this one. This will be in level 2. Okay. Dutiful, detached work is true renunciation, which brings no reaction. So ultimately, we want to do activity that gives no reaction for us because we are already busy dealing with the reactions from our past activity. So we do want to create more reactions. Okay. So how many more times you want to come back and enjoy that or suffer that reaction? So now we want to zeroize the reactions. Okay. You can go, basically, you can go on, do all your activities, but just tweak your consciousness so that you do not have a reaction. Okay, because nobody can stay still without doing anything. Okay, so this is the conclusion. The title itself is conclusion. Okay, so for level 1, we will cover knowledge in 3 modes, happiness in 3 modes. Okay, and then Krishna will summarize what is confidential knowledge, what is more confidential knowledge, and most confidential knowledge. So each of these has been covered as a separate chapters in throughout Bhagavad Gita. So now Krishna is going to give a summary. Okay, glories of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, also along the chapter 4, few other chapters Krishna talk about glories of Bhagavad Gita. Which one is the other chapter that Krishna spoke about? The glories of knowledge. Is it chapter 12? I think it's chapter 12, is it? Okay. Ultimate conclusion of Gita. So everybody wants to know what is the conclusion of the book. All right. So what is the final verdict of this book? So everybody wants to know that, which is unconditional loving surrender unto Lord Krishna. Unconditional means you do not have a terms and condition. I will do this for you if you do this for me. I am doing this for you, so you should do this for me. So this is conditional. So the opposite is unconditional. In another word is selfless service. I don't want anything, Krishna. I just want to serve you. That's about it. All right. And this is the consciousness that frees one from all sins, complete enlightenment, and return to supreme abode. Okay, this is the goal of surrender, and all the essence of all the chapters will be given in this chapter 18. Okay. All right. So, like I mentioned, chapter 17, and chapter 18 will elaborate more on activities under 3 modes, right? So actually for chapter 18, it will start with renunciation through 3 modes, okay? So renunciation itself is not sufficient, but how you renounce, in what mental state you renounce will fall under goodness, in passion and ignorance. Okay, what kind of renunciation falls under mode of passion? What kind of renunciation falls under the mode of ignorance? So all this will be covered here, but we won't cover that for level 1. Okay. And then next is knowledge in 3 modes. This we will cover. Then, of course, Krishna covers, Arjuna will ask a question. No, it's not Arjuna ask question. Krishna will say, when an activity is done, there are 5 factors that influencing it. It's just not me or you doing it. There are other 4 factors also influence in something that we do. Okay, so this is literally Jnana Yoga. Okay, very detailed. So this is covered in level 2 as well. So Krishna will say the different kinds of work in 3 modes, different kinds of workers in 3 modes, workers in 3 modes. So what kind of worker you are? Okay, that is also Krishna is giving. Intelligence and understanding also got 3 modes. Okay, having intelligence is not sufficient, but your intelligence should fall under the mode of goodness. Determination also in the 3 modes. Okay, right. So you can see it's very technical, right? And then happiness. So we will cover knowledge in 3 modes and happiness in 3 modes. First, we will cover knowledge in 3 modes, and we will slightly go into happiness. Then we'll come back to knowledge, confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge, and most confidential knowledge. Okay. Okay. So now we will do the first segment. Yeah. Knowledge in 3 modes. Now, I think yes. The last class or the class before, I have like a recap. What is confidential knowledge? Confidential knowledge means we have the knowledge of Sankhya Yoga, that we are not the body, we are spirit soul. So this is the confidential knowledge. Okay, a lot of people, they stop here. They stop their spiritual quest here. Oh, I am a spirit soul, I'm not the body. So they stop there. Okay, so that is confidential knowledge. Not everybody knows or accept it. Okay, now this knowledge can be split into 3 modes. Okay, knowing that we are spirit souls alone is not sufficient, but how you apply it, that falls under these 3 modes. Okay, so we will see that. Text 20 to 22. Kirosha Mataji, do you have Bhagavad Gita in your hand? Kirosha Mataji, are you here? She's not here. Okay, who has Bhagavad Gita in your hand? You can quickly open and read for us, 20, 21, 22. And the rest can actually look at the keywords extracted in the table. Okay, I'll give a couple of seconds. Grab your Bhagavad Gita. Who's Darshini Mataji? Can read?
That knowledge by which one's undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness. That knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity, you should understand to be in the mode of passion. And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, is said to be in the mode of darkness.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So what can you understand here? The best knowledge after knowing that we are spirit soul is seeing everyone with with any other answers? Anyone has a different answer? Okay, you can elaborate also. What could be, what is it, what does it mean by equal vision? You know, you can elaborate a little bit more also in your own words. Okay, so Muslim Prabhu, yes, that's the same. Anyone else? Venukumar Prabhu, are you here? Venukumar Prabhu, give me your answer. What do you think? Other than equal vision, seeing them as soul. Very good. Raj Prabhu, all living entities are equal. Okay. Right. So having the knowledge of Sankhya Yoga, or that we are spirit, soul, and not the body. Yes, same. Yes. Okay, equal and same. We are seeing them with a consciousness that Paramatma residing in everyone's heart. Okay, Paramatma is not discriminating. I'm only going to reside in human's body. I'm not residing in animal's body or a plant's body or a dog eater's body. He doesn't discriminate. So when the Lord himself is not discriminate, because he said that I'm in everything. Okay, so why should we discriminate, isn't it? So we view all the forms of life as spiritual beings. Okay, so this is Pandita Samadarshina, same vision. Okay, we are seeing everyone as spirit, soul. Okay, so when you have that knowledge, but you are also influenced by the mode of passion, then you will differentiate everyone based on species, colors, race, gender, okay, or status in community or society. So this is, you know, they are all soul, or this is a better soul, this is not a good soul, or this is a evil soul, or this is a kind soul. So this is more of passion. You are driven by making some distinctions about these people, okay, and you seeing them differently. So this is knowledge in the mode of passion. Okay, so when you okay, so the other things that comes under mode of passion is, we have 3 points here. It means that, okay, we are soul. I know that you are soul, I am a soul, but at death the soul is destroyed. So this is knowledge in the mode of passion. Okay, and it causes a person to take different bodies. Wait, hold on, yeah. It's okay. Another point under mode of passion is, because this person has different consciousness, therefore he's a different person, something like that. Okay, so this is also under the mode of passion. And some people say the body itself is soul, you know. So these are the elements under mode of passion. Knowledge under the mode of passion. Okay, ignorance. Okay, ignorance is, one is too attached to one kind of work, and that's about it. That's his life. Okay, that is too much attached. And because of too excessive attachment, he has no knowledge about the truth. Okay, so that is knowledge under the mode of ignorance. So this is actually a knowledge of common man, whereby his knowledge is only limited to his body. And also because he does not fall or refer to authorities or scriptural injunctions. Okay, so that's knowledge in 3 modes. Okay, what else? Yeah. Okay, so we are done with knowledge. Okay, that's confidential knowledge, right? Confidential knowledge is about knowing that we are spirit, soul, not the body. So that knowledge can be under mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So basically, what Krishna has already mentioned earlier is about equal vision. So if it is not equal vision, then this is the non-equal visions under the mode of passion and ignorance. Okay, so there are happiness in 3 modes. So everybody wants to be happy, but it's nothing wrong to be happy, but we want to be happy righteously. Okay, Kritika Mataji, do you have Bhagavad Gita in your hand already?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Text 37. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. Text 38. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects, and which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of passion. Text 39. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be of the nature of ignorance.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So Krishna opens the chapter by saying this, "O best of Bharatas, now please hear from me about 3 kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys and comes under distress." Okay, sometimes he enjoys, sometimes he comes under distress. Why? Because the happiness can come under 3 modes. Okay, so this actually shows that happiness is not an absolute stage that everybody will be satisfied with that happiness. Okay, so this is a good knowledge also. Okay, whatever that appears to be bitter in the beginning, but it turns out to be nectar at the end result is nectar, that is happiness in the mode of goodness. You are being happy later, that is happiness in the mode of goodness. You know, sometimes, I mean, how did we grow up studying hard? What was that, the usual Malay pepatah that we always told?
Susah-susah dahulu, senang-senang kemudian.
Yeah, so that's in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna already mentioned it. Okay, in the beginning, it will become like, it will feel like poison. You have to wake up, you have to do your homework, you have to study for exam, okay? And then you go to, you study so hard to finish UPSR. When you go to secondary, again, you have to study. I thought the SPM is the end of it, no need to study hard. The STPM pula, after the university, and then goes on and on and on. And then you will be thinking, when is the senang-senang kemudian? Because the working also, you are working very late. Right, so that is material life. Anyway, of course, it makes a lot of difference when you struggle for something. At the end, you have some meaningful achievement, then it's in the mode of goodness. Okay, and if you want to apply that spiritually, when you wake up in the morning, you have to open the altar, you have to do your chanting, you have to wake, of course, you have to shower, whenever do your morning sadhana. So all this might be difficult for a lot of people, but later on, the reward is very fulfilling. Okay, the reward is not temporary, it's a permanent reward. So that is happiness in the mode of goodness. Okay, the final result is it awakens one to self-realization. Okay, so this is the point. Does this happiness give me self-realization? Then that is happiness in the mode of goodness. Does this struggling for 18 days, everybody after coming back from work, they will have dinner, they'll watch TV and they'll go to sleep. Okay, but here we are studying for 18 days, for 2 hours, supposed to be 1 hour. This Mataji always start early and finish late. So this is austerity. You are sitting and listening to me. After that, do quiz pula. Okay, and then there's level 2 and level 3. So if you are keen because you know what lies at the end of the tunnel, you know what this knowledge is going to take you to, where it's going to take you to, then that is happiness in the mode of goodness. It awakens one to self-realization, means then the happiness is in the mode of goodness. Okay. All right. So in passion, well, generally mode of passion, happiness, the mode of passion is when the senses come into contact with sense object. Okay. You will feel happiness in the beginning, like it will be nectarian in the beginning, but maybe after a few hours or after end of the day, or maybe the next morning, you feel so miserable. Oh, why did I do that? You tend to sleep late after movie. Then in the morning you'll wake up. I'll never sleep late, but then it continues again. All right. So this cycle, sometimes we are trapped in. Okay, so that's one example. What other example that you can give that it will be nectarian in the beginning, but at the end or the next day or later part is going to give us miseries? Give some examples, not necessarily your own example. It can be, but something that you have observed or heard, or the reality of life. Anybody can give me some examples? I've given one: sleeping late after watching TV, you so enjoyable, but next morning difficult to get up. Eating good food, gaining weight. All right, some more? Or you get stomach ache, all right? Passion, passion, passion. Yes, Mataji, yes, that will end up, that will cause some person to end up with miseries, problems, disturbances, anxieties. Clubbing, when you have clubbing, you will drink and smoke. What happens next day? Look for lemon. What does that mean? Complete work in last minute. How does it work, Mataji? In the beginning, it's nectarian. Later on, yeah, you mean okay? Procrastination, is it? Is that what is it? Like you want to procrastinate, enjoy first, then finally last minute, okay, do you already have to struggle, burn the midnight oil? Yeah. So clubbing. Let's expand a bit on this clubbing. What's wrong in clubbing? What comes as a package? Intoxication, isn't it? So if you are intoxicated at night, next morning, what happens? Yeah, actually, I've seen my condo many years ago. This group of people, they came back. They are unable to walk. Some people have to, really have to hold them, and then they vomit. Oh my God, it's so disgusting. So then I was asking my husband, why do people do this? It's not like first time they're going to do this, right? So every time they drink, they're going to vomit, and then they're going to do that again. So what is the pleasure in it, right? Yeah, Black Friday sale, and then end up with buyer's remorse when you see your credit card or bank statement. Yes, 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 yes. Happiness in the mode of passion. Yeah. So before you get excited and swipe that card or transfer that touch and go or do it now, think at the end it's going to give me misery or fulfillment. Okay. So it's good, right? We have all this information. We'll be able to analyze our actions. Okay, so that's how Krishna is helping us. Okay, mode of ignorance, totally opposite. It blinds us towards self-realization. They are not aware of such thing as self-realization. Driving fast, yes, true, passionate, happy. Initially happy. Nobody says they are not happy. They're happy, but what happened in the end? Okay, and this happiness and ignorance. Okay, the difference here is here. Let me give you the difference so you'll be able to relate. This mode of goodness is in the beginning, it's bitter. Later on, it becomes nectarian, okay, and leads to self-realization. For passion, in the beginning, it's nectarian, and then it turns to distress or miseries, okay? And finally, the ignorance is from the beginning until the end is distress. Okay, so here there is sometimes happy, sometimes distress. Okay, here is totally distress. For example, this drug addicts, they might not have that consciousness to gauge what is the state of their mental. All right, so they'll be continuously sleeping, continuously lazy, continuously delusioned or intoxicated. So this is happiness in the mode of ignorance. Okay, they will feel like they are in ecstasy. Okay, so this is forever, because if you don't have that supply, you're going to be in misery. And then when you have that supply and then it wears off, the misery is back. Okay, so in between, you are unconscious. Okay. So these are the difference, how the three modes. So I think with this, we have covered three modes for knowledge and happiness. Okay, so now we are entering the next segment. So hopefully it's clear. And so whenever we learn this, right, this is Jnana Yoga section now. So I just want to share that initially I thought it's very difficult section. But once I study it, I apply it, and I can reflect my actions, which mode this knowledge is falling, or which modes this happiness is falling, you'll be able to make a conscious decision how to act or speak or conduct yourself, okay, or relate to people. So we want to apply this in your daily life. Okay, those who are going to work, it's very easy for you to practice this. Okay, or if you're dealing with people, lots of interpersonal things that you have to do, you can practice this. Okay, so only then you'll be able to appreciate this knowledge and see how it makes you a better person. All right, so basically Krishna is concluding on the three modes. Among all the things made of the three gunas, those in the mode of goodness should be accepted, but because they alone are useful. Those things in the lower modes should be rejected. So the other day somebody was asking, right, is it Vimaraj Prabhu, Venu Kumar Prabhu, or Dasarathan Prabhu? I think. So which mode we should follow? So this is the conclusion at the end of chapter 18. I promised you that we will give a conclusion. Okay, Shamla Matisha, I have made you co-host, so if there's any noise, you can mute them. Okay, so we have done confidential knowledge. Now we are moving to more confidential knowledge. Krishna covers this in text 61 to text 63. Okay. Now earlier, the confidential knowledge is the differentiation between spirit, soul, and body. The next level is understanding the super soul is in our heart. Krishna is asking us to surrender to that super soul. Okay, so how the yogis realize the super soul? What do they do? Tapas is very general. So particularly meditation, right? Okay, very good. So again, I reiterate the difference between more confidential knowledge, more confidential, and most confidential. So those are different realization of God. So earlier we are seeing the soul is present in everybody's body. So we are seeing Brahman. Okay, that is Krishna's energy in everybody's heart. Okay, and then when you're realizing that the God is residing in us as Paramatma, this is more confidential knowledge. Okay, so Krishna is Supreme Brahman, we are small Brahman under the confidential knowledge. Now we are realizing and surrendering to Paramatma in our heart. So that means the energy that Krishna has pervaded everything as Brahman. Now he takes a localized position inside our heart. This is called localized, right? Dhyana yoga, yeah, that's particularly. Okay, so they are called Dhyana yogi. However, there is a problem when the Dhyana yogi, they tend to take the self-realization as realizing that they are God. That is one. Number two, they do that to attain some siddhis, not with the intention to surrender to the Paramatma. So these are the disadvantages, okay, or danger in this path, okay. Okay, text 61, Kuhan Prabhu, 263.
The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as one on a machine made of material energy. O son of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Thus, I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. When my Guru Maharaj gave the class on this chapter, he's touched on this. Then do what you wish to do. So people like to quote this. I mean, you know, I think he meant it as a joke. People like to say this because now Krishna asked me to do whatever I wish I want to do, right? So actually, if you have grasped the knowledge what Krishna has given, then we know what Krishna is asking us to do. So remember where I say Krishna never forced us. You must do this, you must do that. Krishna has said that if you want this, then you should not do this. Like, for example, you should give up certain things to achieve this. So like that only, but Krishna never say, if you don't do this, this will, you must do this. This is how I'm going to dictate you to do. He never said that. So he's given all the explanation. If you do this, you get this. If you do that, you get that. And finally, he said, then do what you wish to do. Okay, so of course, this is the conclusion that he's giving to Arjuna. But the more confidential part is that the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart and we must surrender unto him. Okay, with that, we will attain the peace and the supreme abode. So this is the more confidential knowledge. Because if we do not follow his orders, okay, if we don't follow his orders, then we are going to follow the orders of the material modes. Okay, like a puppet. Remember the string, the three ladies with the string? So we're going to function under these strings if we do not follow the Lord's order. Okay. Let's see if Krishna stays up. Look up. Okay, you see if it is text 61, right? He says, O Arjuna, is the Supreme Lord is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a mission. So he's saying from inside, he's instructing us as Paramatma. So if we don't follow him, then we're going to follow the dictation of the three modes of material nature, whether goodness or passion or ignorance. Okay. Okay, because in text 60, Krishna said, under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction. Initially, Arjuna declined to act. I don't want to kill. I have all these SD reasons. Okay, because he was influenced by the three modes, but compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same. Because your duty is to kill, then you have to act accordingly. Okay, and that is my instruction. Okay, something like that. Okay, so this is more confidential knowledge that Supreme Lord is the master and the puppeteer. So we want the strings to be pulled by the Lord, not by the three modes. Therefore, we want to surrender unto him, not to the three modes. Okay. Most confidential knowledge. This is the goal of understanding the confidential knowledge and the more confidential knowledge. Text 64.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Because you are my very dear friend, I'm speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So again, Krishna is saying that you are my dear friend. Okay, anybody can recall which chapter Krishna mentioned Arjuna as a dear friend? Anybody? First, what are the qualifications Krishna said? Dear friend, and then non-envious. Okay, these two things, right? Krishna mentioned. Again, he's saying because Arjuna is a dear friend, so we have to be dear to Krishna to get the knowledge. Now, Krishna as a equally has given everyone the knowledge, but Krishna also said, if you are sincere, I will give you the understanding by which you will come unto me. So having this knowledge alone is not sufficient, but we need to have the realization and understanding, and that Krishna can give us. Okay, right. So the highest realization is to reestablish one's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so this is also the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, this is very important sloka. 65 to 66. Lavanya Mataji was here yesterday. Who would like to go? Ram Prabhu? Last day.
I'm here. Oh.
Okay, who? Ram Prabhu, right. Okay.
Who was that just now? If he wants to go, that's okay.
Venukumar Prabhu, do you want to go?
No, it's fine, Mataji. Please carry on.
Okay.
Okay. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus, you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear.
Hey, thank you, Prabhu. So
Thank
very
you.
important slokas here. Krishna is telling how to surrender unto him. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Can anybody recall a similar verse we covered previously? Always think of me. Remember, Mam Namaskuru, that sloka? Who can look it up? Okay. What is the difference? What's the difference between that sloka and this sloka? It's 90% same. Man mana bhava mad bhaktu, mad yaji ma namaskuru. This part, I think the last part here, mam evaishyasi satyam te. Satyam te is what I promise you. Pratijani priyosimi. Is that the difference? Chapter 9, what text is that, Mataji? Let me check it out. Chapter 9. Engage your mind, text 34. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Okay. Same, almost, always think of me. Become my devotee, become my devotee. Offer obeisance to me and worship me. Here, worship me and offer your homage to me. So same, all right? Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Here, thus you will come to me without fear. I promise you this because you're my very dear friend. Pratijani priyosimi. Priyo means dear, very dear to me. Again, Krishna is saying, I promise you this because you're my dear friend. So we all have one purpose in life, to be dear to Krishna. Okay, so we want to be very dear to him. And that's what it matters. That's what matters. All right. Okay, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Okay, the next sloka here. Abandon all varieties of religion. So religion here means abandon all kind of religious practices or work or duties. Okay, Krishna is saying that you can just abandon everything and just surrender unto me and engage in devotional service, and I can deliver you from all sinful reactions. So pure devotional service can burn all our karmas. So that is the fact. Okay, but we are still on the practicing devotional service, sadhana bhakti. Okay, not kevala bhakti, not pure bhakti. Okay, we are practicing because we are working, we have our daily commitments, so we cannot be the top class. It's not impossible, but generally Krishna has prescribed us the regulated principles of bhakti. Okay, so this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The ultimate conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is surrender unto Krishna. Okay, of course, Krishna has said that you have to do this karma, you have to do that, you have to do this. But Krishna said you can actually abandon everything and just surrender unto me. That's fine, like that. Because in devotional service, also you're engaging your senses and you are still doing your work. Okay, right, very important. Do not fear. Oh, this is very important. Krishna says, do not fear. Here he says, I promise you. Okay, and then he says, do not fear. Moksha isyami ma suchaha, deliver you. Ma sucha means do not worry. So this is a recap on the three kinds of knowledge: confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge, most confidential knowledge. Okay, let's have some answers. What is confidential knowledge? Very short answer. Who have not responded today? I know who are quiet today. Can I hear from you? Last day. Promo, last day promo. What is confidential knowledge? Yes, Ganesh Prabhu. I was looking at your name just now. Yes, we are not the body, we are the soul. Very good. Next question. More confidential knowledge. Who shall I call? Venukumar Prabhu. What is more confidential knowledge? Knowing that we are the spirit soul, there is a supreme soul. What is our next action? That will be the more confidential knowledge. Vigneswari Mataji. Vasiki Mataji, okay, you are not wrong, but ultimately what is good? What is it? Krishna is in everyone's heart. Yes, that's correct. Okay, maybe you can tie it to the 3 realizations. The first is realizing God as Brahman. Okay, we are the small Brahman, he is Supreme Brahman, and there is Brahman in everyone's heart. Okay, and realizing, yes, that's right. Remember Krishna as what? Supreme, yes, that's very general. Super soul, yes. The more confidential knowledge is about super soul. So you remember the train story. First, you see the light. Second, you see the engine. Okay. So you know that the super soul, you want to surrender to the super soul. Remember, I said the Dhyana Yoga, they all try to realize the super soul is at the heart and what happened, what is the danger in it. Okay. Now, Paramatma, very good. What is the most confidential knowledge? Paramatma is more confidential knowledge, the second stage. What is the third stage? And that is the most confidential knowledge. Yes, surrendering to Supreme, surrender. Surrendering to Krishna, knowing that he is Bhagavan. Okay, and he also mentioned 4 things how to worship him. Okay, how to surrender. The driver, surrender unto him, knowing him as Bhagavan. Yes, because he's the instructor. Okay, very good. Text 68. This is next segment, glories of studying and teaching Bhagavad Gita. We all are here, 18 days being completed. And let's see what you are getting from this learning.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Can I read?
Yes, yes.
For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. Text 69. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. Text 70. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. Text 71. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So here, Krishna said, we should be brave. We should have faith in Lord Krishna, and that is surrender. So text 68 says that we must learn, after learn Bhagavad Gita, we must share with others. We should explain to others. Okay, believe me, you can, it's not that you must only speak to Hindus or Indians. You can actually take this knowledge and speak to just anyone. Okay, I talk about this to Malays and Chinese, whoever, because it is not a very religious, you don't have a very religious substance. Of course, religious for us is dharma. The dharma itself is the religion. Okay? Being righteous is the religion for us. But it is not like what generally people think. Okay, this is way of life, how to conduct your life. Okay, this is a handbook, so we can You can even pick up, an example like 3 modes. You can talk to them as food of 3 modes, happiness in 3 modes. This is fact of life. Everybody will agree with it. Okay, and of course the part where the leaders are expected to show good example to the common man, because the common man will tend to follow. Okay, this is also a general thing. Everybody can do it. Okay, even if you take a general philosophy, or a lot of people nowadays, they are using lots of quotes and philosophies. But if you really have read Bhagavad Gita, you will feel like, if this like rings a bell, I think Krishna has said it in Bhagavad Gita. So when you check like this, I have found out so many, this is Krishna's words. They have actually published it, as their philosophy, like that. So to me, my conclusion is all these philosophies, it boils down, and the original information is taken from Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, Prabhupada will say something about Bhagavad Gita, whereby he says that in Bhagavad Gita, you will find things that you cannot find elsewhere. Okay, and it's like how you will find everything that is outside in Bhagavad Gita, and you will also have things that are not found outside. Okay, so which means knowledge in Bhagavad Gita covers everything. And if you remember, Krishna also mentioned to Arjuna, I think in chapter 11, he will say, okay, Arjuna will ask something, and Krishna will say, okay, I'm going to give you this. Yeah, I think it's knowledge of the absolute. I'm going to give you whatever you ask, and I'm also going to give you something more. And after this, there's nothing more to know already. So that's how confidence that we should have in Krishna's word. That's how confident Krishna is about the knowledge that he's giving us. Okay, after knowing this, there's nothing else to know already. Okay, I will get that line from somewhere, and then I'll share it in the group. I think it's Prabhupada's line in the introduction. Okay, again here, Krishna is talking about what kind of person is very dear to him. The person who shares this knowledge to others, that person is very dear to him. And nobody will be more dear to him than these people. Okay, and here, the third one, Krishna talks about this sacred conversation. This is not an ordinary conversation. It's the conversation between the Supreme Lord himself and his friend. Of course, the message is also for the general mankind. Okay, it's a sacred conversation. So why? Because there are a lot of people having a lot of chit chat everywhere. It could be a village talk or a market talk or just a normal chit chat. But this is not a normal chit chat. This is a sacred conversation. And those who have studied this, not just reading, studied. What we are doing now is studying scrutinizingly. We are just not reading it through. Okay, we are studying this. With that knowledge, we will worship Krishna with our intelligence. So this is not a blind faith. This is called sublime faith. Okay, we have books, we have teachers, we have, it's authorized. Okay, it is accepted by great personalities in the past, great acharyas in the past. Just name any acharyas, all of them accept Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so this is worship by intelligence, not just sentiments. Okay, so this is sublime faith. Okay, next is one who listens with faith, which means not in a challenging mode and not in envious mode. And this kind of listeners, they will be freed from their sinful reactions, and they will they will attain auspicious planets where the pious dwell. Okay, very good. Thank you, Mataji. I can't copy paste here. Oh, I can't copy paste. Mataji, you can just put in a general because you sent directly to me. Okay, thanks, Mataji. Right, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Okay, of course, at the end of chapter 10, also Krishna will say, I'm going to tell you everything. And then at the end, he will say, what is the need of knowing everything? By just a spark, I maintain everything. It's like that. Okay, so which means we already know everything. Okay, nothing else to be known. But that doesn't mean Krishna's opulence is just to that limit. Okay, So you can see his opulence is so much more that even I think it's inconceivable for us. So that's what it's supposed to mean. All right, so what else? Yeah, I think we covered this already. Okay. Reactions, yes. By a single fragment, he pervades and supports the entire universe. Just a single fragment will do. So generally, this is how a person who is interested to know about Bhagavad Gita, they will start their journey understanding Bhagavad Gita. So after knowing Bhagavad Gita, they will go into Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, they will acquire more in-depth knowledge on Srimad Bhagavatam. So this 18 days is just to give a rough exposure on the content of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the benediction for the teacher or preacher. Actually, the students also, because you are listening, and I hope and pray that you are also sharing with others. Okay, you can actually share with your children also. Okay, there's no age limit for this knowledge here. Okay, so after getting this knowledge, Arjuna is confessing his status now. So you have to compare what was Arjuna's mental state in the beginning. And now after everything that Krishna has said, Arjuna is giving his conclusion. And then later we will see what is Sanjaya's conclusion. Okay, before we end. Text 72, of course, see, Krishna as a very good teacher, he's asking, do you all understand? Should I repeat? Did you hear with an attentive mind? So this is what Krishna is asking. Text 72. Okay, Manali Mataji, not here. Anyone? Jay Mataji, today you've been quiet.
Okay, Mataji, I can read.
Okay.
Okay. O son of Partha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind, and are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So Krishna, as a spiritual master, it was his duty to ask and know if Arjuna understood Bhagavad Gita in proper perspective. Why? Because number one is Krishna's duty as a spiritual master or teacher, okay, who has given the knowledge to ask whether the student understood or not. And number two, if Arjuna has understood, then it should it should show some result. So Krishna wants to know whether his ignorance and illusion dispelled or not. So this should be the result, the end product. Okay, and finally, another point here is that he's establishing that Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book. So some expectation is there whether this result has been achieved or not. Okay, and of course, the hearing itself is important, whether you're hearing from the authority. Okay, so now Arjuna will answer what his decision. Text 73. Maya Mataji not here also. Anybody would like to go? Lakshmi Mataji? Oh, sorry, Mataji. Yeah, who's that just now? Lakshmi Mataji, you are here. Okay. Mataji, you muted. Okay.
Can you hear?
Okay, yes.
Okay. O son of Partha, O conqueror of the wealth. Sorry, I can't see the text. Veda. Okay. Arjuna said, is that the one? Because my line is lagging.
73. Do you see
Hello?
73 on your screen?
Okay. I can see now. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and I am prepared to act according to your instructions. Arjuna is firmly fixed.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So here we should understand that Lord Krishna is giving Arjuna the choice. Okay, he's not forcing Arjuna to do what he says. You decide what you want to do. Remember, now you do what you wish to do. Okay. And then remember the earlier one, right? Deliberate on this and do what you wish to do. Okay. Can you all extract for me the 4 points or 4 confessions that Arjuna has made here? What is Arjuna is firmly fixed about? Okay, right. Illusion is gone. Firm and free from doubt. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Only one person mentioned one conclusion here. That is very important. Yeah, he surrendered. The surrender was already happened in chapter 2. Now I am surrendered student. Do you remember? So please instruct me. Surrender has already happened. Now he's prepared to act according to your instruction. See, Arjuna is so surrendered that he did not say, okay, Krishna, my illusion is gone. Now I'm going to engage in war. He didn't say specifically like that. He said, whatever you say, I will do. This is surrender. Okay. Illusion is gone. Regained memory. So what memory was he talking about? Okay, remember that he is a spirit soul. So he would have forgotten that. Okay, he would have forgotten that all the Bhisma and Dronacharya, they are spirit soul, whereby the body dies, destroys, but not the soul. Yes, prepare to act accordingly. Prepare to act according to your instruction. Yes. What else? So ultimately he said, whatever you say, I will do. And that will bring the success. And we will see what success is that, okay? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, yeah, it's 5, right? Unless you put firm and the realization of Krishna, their conversation ended there. Okay, now who is narrating this Bhagavad Gita? Yes, so Sanjaya is going to make a conclusion here. Okay, let's see what Sanjaya is concluding here. Realization of Sanjaya. Okay, so in between there is 74, 75, 76, 77. This is what Sanjaya will say. Yeah? Thus, have I heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. This is Sanjaya saying. By the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard this most confidential knowledge, most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism. Master of most mysticism is Yogeshwara, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. O king, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. O king, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again. Can you see that Dhritarashtra there sitting and waiting information like his son's going to win the battle, but here Sanjaya is glorifying Krishna and giving a glimpse of what's going to happen. So this is the last verse. Let's see who is lucky person to do this last verse. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystery, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be the opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion.
Okay, so thank you, Mataji. So Arjuna, Sanjaya is telling, wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, which means wherever this conversation is taking place, wherever this narration is taking place or the discussion is taking place, that place will have opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. Okay, so this is Sanjaya's description of Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was hoping the victory will be on his son's side, but Sanjaya is indicating, no, all right, that's not going to happen like that. Okay, so here, look at these names, yeah. Yogeshwara, master of all mystics. Dhanurdhara, Arjuna is Ardhanadhara. He is expert in firing arrows. And Arjuna is the best student of Dronacharya. This one is just a little bit of recap of Mahabharata. Okay, opulence. Sons of Dhritarashtra also have opulence, but in comparison to Lord Krishna, who is served by Sahasra Lakshmi, thousands of goddess of fortune, Krishna's opulence is indescribable, cannot be compared to anything. And he has all the opulence. So the opulence is on Krishna's side. Victory. Okay, so because this side, Pandava side, there is Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Dhanurdhara and the master of mysticism. Victory is on this side. Okay, it cannot be on the other side. Extraordinary power. Some of Dhritarashtra's sons are great fighters, but of course they cannot be equivalent to Lord Krishna. Okay, and morality. Dhritarashtra's sons do not have any virtuous values, any virtues or values. Okay, so all these are present among the Pandavas. Okay, so they were not with moral, they were immoral, they were disturbing, they disturbed Draupadi, they set fire on the Pandavas' house, and they said they banished them to the forest, refused to give them their rights to the property. So they are aggressors. Okay, so I shared in the group one time, there are 6 aggressors and they can be killed according to Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita means law of mankind. There's Manu is the first human, right? And he written this Manu Samhita, which are the activity that should be punished, all this list will be there. So in that, 6 aggressors can be punished or killed. Okay, so this is the conclusion. So Arjuna, with that, Sanjaya has already declared the result of the war. Okay, the trailer already told the story of the entire movie. Okay. Okay, so since we're not going to have another class, so we will recap the chapter 18 here, yeah. So what do you remember from the knowledge? We covered the 3 modes of material nature. So this knowledge is about the difference between body and spirit soul, and how this knowledge differs under the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance is how we see everyone as a spirit soul, okay, or whether they are differentiated because of their conditions or species or status, okay. Happiness, also we saw goodness, passion, and ignorance, okay. And then what is the next thing that we covered? We actually covered more confidential knowledge, but this is not coming in sequence. Okay. More confidential knowledge that the Supreme Lord is the master and puppeteer, therefore surrender unto him. The most confidential knowledge is understanding Krishna as Paramatma. Okay, sorry, as Bhagavan. So finally, we have to surrender unto him. That is the ultimate goal. And then we just did our Arjuna's realization and Sanjaya's conclusion. Okay, that's about it. We have come to the end. So this one, I showed this in the beginning. So we have met all these objectives. Okay, I remember, yeah. Last slide. Okay, I think Mataji is not here. Last one.
I'll read, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Sukadeva Goswami tells Maharaja Pariksit, my dear king, if one is spontaneously attached to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is to be understood that he has attained the highest perfectional stage.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So Sukadeva Goswami is son of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva wrote Mahabharata. Okay, and that's where Bhagavad Gita comes from. So this is Maharaja Parikshit. We saw during the story of the Shringi, Samika Rishi, the Takshaka snake bird. Okay, we saw this story. So we see the connection here. So the next step actually will be Srimad Bhagavatam. So Parikshit is receiving Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. So those who are interested in getting Bhagavatam, you can let me know. Okay. That's about it. We have completed chapter 18. All glories to all of you. 21 of you have assembled here today. Thank you everyone for tolerating me and being very patient. Do you all have any question about the level 2 or level 3? I can explain now. Are you all very clear about what level 2 going to be like or level 3 going to be like? I have shared the sample video, so you can also take a look at it. So our winning vote is for level 2, but you must attend the classes. And usually for level 2, right, I will actually ask beforehand how many of you will attend, because I spend a couple of hours to prepare the lesson, okay, depending on the intensity of the chapter or the length of the chapter. So we are all working, okay, so some understanding and cooperation also I really expect and appreciate. So if we can meet minimum 10 people and above, then I will proceed with the class. So usually I'll ask how many of you all are attending to decide whether to have the class or not to have class. So like that. So most of the time we want to have the class. So because if you skip 1 week, then we're going to miss a lot. Okay, the duration will be lengthened so much. So this is one heads up. So we will go for level 2, but not too soon. Yeah, we still have to wait for other teachers to finish their level 1. The certification, the quizzes have to be completed. The certification have to be prepared and issued to everyone. The graduation and everything. So until then, we will keep in touch in our group. Any question you can post in the group. We can have it as a discussion. Okay. So don't go silent. All right.